Welcome back to what's going to be part 2 of my Victory VTAC 25 arrows. So last video went through the whole process on how I build them. So we did the node test thing, which is new for me. Got them cut to length, squared, glued in our points. We did the bend test, found out that the way I bend test and knock, tune, or spine align the arrows did not line up with what Victory says. So none of them matched the spinal line marks. So whatever that's worth. We got bushings glued in. We've got all the veins on. I shot them a couple shots, but I know the bow's not tuned because this bow was set up for my gold tip warriors. And I made a couple small changes since the last time I shot those. I knew the roller guard needed to be adjusted, so I did that. I also know the knock fit is not very good, so we're probably going to have to change that too. But I wanted to pop it through paper just to kind of see where our starting point is and see what we need to do. So that's where we're at. So I'm just going to shoot a bear shaft. Not from very far. We're really close. And I just want to see kind of what it looks like through paper. Well, not surprising, it came out point high, which would make sense. It's a fatter shaft, so it's going to sit higher on the rest. So let's shoot another one, just make sure it's consistent, and then we'll go from there. Very similar, point high. I'm also noticing they're both a tad tail right, so we'll adjust that once we get into it a little bit. So with that, let's go put it in the press and see what we can do. Alright, so first thing we're going to do here is check our knock fit, which we know is super snug. You can hear it clip on there pretty tight. It fits the serving pretty well. The serving I have on here is about right. The problem is that it's getting pinched. The knocks I had on here, if you look at these and compare these side by side, you'll notice they're way skinnier. The gold tip pin or bushing knocks, way skinnier. So I'm definitely a little too snug. Yeah, there's no wiggle room in there at all. So what we're going to do here is we are just going to cut all this off, replace the D-loop and everything. So I'm just using a razor blade, laying it right on the serving, nice and flat, and just kind of sawing away at it. I'm hoping we're not going to find too much serving separation under here because I really don't want to reserve this right now. I have limited time. I actually have to leave for work tomorrow. Oh, crap. There's a lot of separation under there. Dang it. That's annoying. Right here, all that separation going on, so that's going to have to come off. Alright, so I can see where my knock point used to be. So I'm going to burn an inch, and I'm just going to measure from my middle of my peep right here down, and that was at 6 5/8, but we know I'm point high, knock low, so that means we could probably move this up just a hair, and that probably actually make it fit my face a little better. So we're gonna go 6 1/2, burning an inch. Remember that number, 6 1/2, burning an inch. I'm gonna cut the serving off. You guys don't need to stick around for that. I'll be right back. So a little Josh Jones trick. Take a piece of arrow, a couple knocks in it. You can throw that in here like this. What that does is create just a little bit of space for you. Makes it easier to serve your bowstring. String fits on there. This clips on here nicely. Very nice. thumb on it, pull this out a ways. Make a big loop, run it through. Wrap this by hand as tight as you can over top of itself. Slack out of it. All right, so we were going to go 6 and a half, right? Burning an inch. Burn an inch. We're gonna go 6 and a half. Right there. All right. Now, one thing that I've noticed when I draw my bow back is that my release is pulling up away from the arrow. So the way I compensate for that is I put extra a larger knot on the bottom than I do the top. I put like, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 of these on the bottom and only like 3 on the top, because that's what's really pulling, is it's pulling against the bottom knot. The top knot's just kind of there. Everybody says, oh, 1 serving. I usually do a couple because I get compression. It seems like after shooting, the serving compresses on itself. So I usually leave 2 to 3. And after 100 arrows or so, that's a pretty snug knock fit anyways. So we're just going to go like that. Out of it for now. D-loop pliers, add a little pressure. I'm not going to suck it down too tight just yet because that all might move. And we are at 6 and a half on the money. Perfect. It's almost like we know what we're doing. We're back in one piece. I got the bars back on it. First time pulling on a D-loop, so always a little unnerving. I hate this part. But let's see where we're at. Well, that's a nice improvement. So I think we can work with that just a little bit. Looks like we need to come down just a hair on the rest. Maybe add just a touch of Set Tech to clean that up. So on the rest right here, we can kind of see where that's at. So I'm going to break this loose. Now we need to go up. ever so slightly. So we are going to drive this. Oh, that's the wrong way. We're going to go this way. I'm going to drive that up about a line's worth and tighten that back down. Now we were also getting a little bit tail. We were getting tail right. Correct? Yeah. So what we're going to do is break our set loose, and we're going to turn this back just a little bit. So I'm just going to square that up to the top and see what happens. Tear's pretty similar. I don't think we moved it enough. Let's tweak it just a little more. All right, I moved. I was moving the rest. I was getting point high and I was moving the rest up. If you're point high, you need to bring the rest down. So I brought it down just a smidge from our original position. So now it's a little lower than where we started. So let's try that again. Haven't touched the set. All right, that's the last one. You don't get much more bullet hole than that. I just want to clarify something. Just because an arrow shoots a bullet hole through paper at 5 or 10 feet does not mean your bow is tuned. This is the most basic way to tune your bow. So this is where we're going to step outside. We're going to bare shaft. And that's probably as far as I'm going to get with this one because I'm going to be out of time. In a couple weeks from now, when I get back home for my next work trip, we'll step out. We're going to stretch this out to 50 yards. We're going to play with our hill method, and really try to dial this in and make sure it's shooting just as best as it can. But for now, let's jump outside. It's already dark. We'll see if we can't get a basic bare shaft tune done tonight. Well, on this part of the video, my microphone decided it did not want to work properly, so the audio came through all scratchy. So I'm just going to voice over and explain it to you. So at this point, I'm doing a bare shaft tune. If you don't know what that is, the idea is you're going to shoot 2 arrows. The first one's going to be a flet shaft. You're going to pull up, aim at the middle, and make a really good shot. Target set up approximately 20 yards. And then you're going to follow that up by shooting a bare shaft. The idea is we're going to compare how they land on the target, and that's going to let us know what adjustments we need to make to the bow. All right, so here's what I initially see. Bare shaft is kicked tail left. And then if you look at it from this side, don't mind the garbage can, you'll notice they're not perfectly parallel. The bare shaft is pitched up. So what that means is we need to bring the nose down a little bit, so we need to lower the rest. Now it looks like we need to take a little bit of that set that we put in out. All right, so I made a few adjustments to the bow. First, I lowered the rest ever so slightly to address the pitch up attitude that it had in the target. And then I added just a little bit of tail left adjustment to the set. Took about a quarter turn into it. And then repeat the test. Shoot a flet shaft, and then follow it up with a bare shaft. Again, make sure they're 2 good shots. If for some reason you kind of yank it, jerk it, it doesn't break well, start over. Don't let bad shots influence how you are tuning your bow. So if you need to redo it, please redo it. All right, left and right, it's about perfectly parallel. That's what I want to see. I want to see that these two are running parallel with each other. If we look this direction, looks like I might have taken a little too much out of it. I need to raise that nose back up ever so slightly. But yeah, let's bring that up just a touch. All right, I moved the rest back up just a hair. I didn't mess with the set technology. And we're going to repeat the test one more time. Well, left and right still looking pretty good. And now the up and down is just about perfect. Well, that's about the best I can do tonight. Yeah, man, these things look good. I'm really excited about these arrows. I'm just hoping I get a chance to shoot them a little bit before next Saturday, which is when I have my next 5-spot shoot. Fortunately, I gotta go to work tomorrow, so maybe I'll get a little time in tomorrow. I might get some time in Friday before the shoot on Saturday. Who knows? Anyways, thanks for coming along. I can't wait to see how these do and see if these actually improve my scores or not, or maybe I just wasted a bunch of money. We'll find out.